Okay, so this is pad thai. May or may not be super traditional, but mostly it is. I think the only liberty I took was the carrot, because I like the texture that it gives. But it's going to be very, very quick. Typically, if you have a wok, you'll want to use one. I'm not using mine because I want to demonstrate that you can make this even if you don't have a wok, but it will turn out, a little bit better with a wok, and it's a little more fun also. We're going to start with our oil, and this is just canola oil. So you don't use olive oil on this. I use olive oil for most of my cooking, but because you're cooking at such a high temperature, you need an oil that has a very high smoke point. So we're cranked up almost all the way up, and we're just going to get going. I've got all my ingredients laid out, and that's the key to pad thai, because the cooking is very, very quick. You have to have everything ready to go once you start putting stuff in the pan. So we'll set our oil in there, and then immediately we'll add our garlic, our shallot. Cooking pretty quick already. Toss it. Okay. And then this is a shrimp powder. You just add a little bit of that, not too much. It's pretty strong stuff. You can not use it if you prefer. And we'll go straight in with our chicken. And we'll toss that around a bit. Now you could see when I started with the garlic, that it started to burn very, very quickly. It started getting black really, really quick. So you have to move fast because much longer, and then it'll actually taste really burnt. But really, as long as you move quick, it'll just be kind of a fried garlic flavor. So you let the chicken sit for just a little bit. It needs a little extra time. Make sure that you get it mostly cooked through. It doesn't have to be cooked all the way through before you move on, but it should be pretty close. And so you slice it very, very thin. You can see these pieces are really small because you want it to cook. And you see that there's no extra juice in the pan, so we're not steaming it. That's why you need the pan so high temperature, because then it just keeps everything, all the water evaporates and burns off, or steams off pretty immediately. So next I'm going to add my carrot and just toss that around really quick. Okay. Now the noodles. Now these have been soaked for about 20 minutes to make them a little bit more pliable. And once I add the noodles, that's when I switch over to my tongs here. Tongs make it a little easier for me, but you can stick with the spoon if you want, or you can start with the tongs, whatever you want to do. Okay, so once you get that kind of tossed around, then we're going to add our sauce that we made. And you don't want pad thai to be really soupy. The sauce should not be left over, so it's just enough to coat the noodles, and then most of the liquid will cook out. Smells really good. Let's see, that liquid is starting to cook out there. Now we're going to take our bean sprouts, and we'll put most of them in. But we'll save some. Toss that around. Back in there. And then most of our green onion as well. But again, we'll save some. And the last ingredient is the peanuts. Thanks, babe. I'm not going to add all of those, but just add about that much. I don't care for a ton of peanuts in mine, but it's a nice little texture. finish up all those flavors. You want the green onion and the sprouts, the bean sprouts, to get a little bit of heat, but you're not wanting them to lose all their firmness or all their texture. So you just keep tossing it around, keep it moving. And go ahead and drop our heat and we'll move over here right to our platter, conveniently placed right here. Okay. Okay. There. A little shake, top with a little bit more beans, some more of the green onion, and then lime wedges. Everybody's going to want one. And just for good measure, just a few more of the peanuts. And that is it. Pad Thai, super fast and really easy as long as you prepare.